So obviously, this would be the ideal situation that you have exchanges as kind of custodians, and they hold one coin for one coin, right? But this is not really the reality for most platforms, right? If this was the case, then when you sign up for an exchange, there would be a simple custody agreement that would basically tell you that your assets will never be used for anything else. Funnily enough, FTX was one of the few exchanges that actually had this kind of more or less custody clause, right? That the assets couldn't be used for anything else. But for most of the other exchanges, people don't even know that when they deposit their funds on the exchange, they actually become unsecured creditors to the exchange. And this is a very important point because, going back really to basic financial audit, right? When you deposit your assets on an exchange and you are an unsecured credit, your assets become part, right, of the exchange's balance sheet. So which means that whatever happens, if something goes bad for the exchange and the exchange goes down, you are, as a depositor, in line with all the other creditors with your claim on the exchange's assets. If your assets are held in custody, then that means that your assets are never on the exchange's balance sheet, which means that you don't have to line up with the other creditors, but the exchange has to return your assets because they are just holding your assets in custody and they're not there. The ownership is not transferred to the exchange. So this is a kind of very big difference, and I urge everybody to go and kind of read the fine print of the most of the exchanges' terms and conditions to see how they kind of how they basically write it and explain it to customers, and the fact that most exchanges can do more or less whatever they want with customers' assets. Now, if we really move to a segregated independent custodian, right? In a nutshell, what it means is that exactly what Patrick said. You give me a Bitcoin, I have to hold it, and obviously my responsibility is to hold it very safely. My responsibility is also to only use that asset according to the instructions that I receive from the client. So meaning that I cannot do anything else apart from what the client is telling me to do with that asset. But in the challenge, is I think what we're discussing also today here is, okay, the asset is there, but how can I make it available for whatever the client wants to do with other intermediaries? So you have the safekeeping, you have receiving instructions, and you have the safely making the asset available for financial transactions in the financial market.